starts right now.
They are sacred pieces of San Antonio's history, but recently vandals have been targeting them. Tonight, the push to protect San Antonio's missions.
And this is a citywide problem that's worse than you thought. Fires in vacant buildings all across San Antonio. Tonight, KSAT investigates, explores where those buildings are and what leaders are doing to prevent them from burning.
And it is the day the rain came and just kept coming. 25 years since the flood of 1998 here in San Antonio in South Texas. Tonight, we relive some of the coverage KSAT brought you on that historic day. But first.
Tonight, we'll start with this, a call to protect and preserve San Antonio's missions. We know that vandals have targeted the 300-plus-year-old churches. And here's the thing. The damage is expensive. Yeah,
the Night Team's John Paul Barajas spoke to the nonprofit that helps care for the missions about the damage and how they hope to solve the problem.
When someone puts a knife through it or cuts through it, they're cutting into our heritage.
Pieces of San Antonio history now victims of vandalism. Rebecca Simmons with nonprofit Las Misiones says damage has been reported at several of the missions.
Throwing red paint on the convento over at San Jose, trying to break through doors at Mission San Juan, where they broke the latch off the door, and breaking glass at the Rose window over at San Jose.
The repairs aren't simple or cheap. Any work would also need to preserve the history of each structure.
Jim Bowie stood up there on the top of Mission Concepcion for the Battle of Concepcion. There is original plaster on that building.
Both Simmons and Cristobal Lopez of the National Parks Conservation Association says it's an unfortunate trend that started a few years ago. Some of the most recent and significant damage was found at Mission San Jose earlier this summer.
Do you think that the missions are becoming a target, or is this just bad luck?
I don't know.
Sometimes they want to get in, and they get in, and nothing happens, and they leave. Sometimes they carve initials. Sometimes they break things.
Simmons and Lopez brought their concerns to U.S. Congressman Joaquin Castro, who partnered with fellow Congressman Henry Cuellar and Greg Casar for a letter to the National Park Service, writing, quote, "Create a plan to ensure our missions remain safe and damage-free. We are worried that without proper protection and security, the San Antonio missions may not survive another 300 years.
The park staff here at San Antonio Missions National Historical Park does an incredible job given the resources that they have. If we can get the Park Service more funding, then they're able to really expand the resources to be able to further protect these natural and cultural resources.
Now, we've reached out to National Park Services both yesterday and today by both phone and email, but have not heard back yet. As for that requested action plan and what that'll look like, that is still to be determined. At Mission Concepcion, John Paul Barajas, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, John Paul. We're still working to learn more about the man shot and killed this morning by San Antonio police. Investigators say that person ran from officers during a traffic stop that started around 5 a.m. Officers caught up with the man on Gus Garcia. That's where Chief William McManus says he, quote, pulled a weapon and turned toward officers, end quote, before they opened fire. A second person who ran from the traffic stop caught and taken into custody. The officers involved in that shooting are 4-year and 15-year veterans. Both were placed on administrative duty pending an investigation, which is standard procedure.
The city of San Antonio's new budget is now at the center of a lawsuit. Anti-abortion groups are challenging the city over its Reproductive Justice Fund. We've told you about this before. Their lawsuit aims to stop taxpayer money from going towards travel for out-of-state abortions. The city hasn't said yet how the $500,000 is going to be used exactly, but the city attorney says that the council is going to discuss that during an open work session.
Yeah, we are talking about those $500,000 that city leaders set aside for reproductive health services. We actually asked Mayor Ron Nirenberg about the money during our KSAT Q&A on the news at 6 o'clock. Here's a portion of what he had to say.
City Council hasn't decided where those funds are going to be going in terms of the organizations, nor what those services would be for. That was a discussion that we are planning to have in the fall, this fall, right now, in the next few months, I would expect. We know that it will be used in some way for women's health. And frankly, I support us using resources to help fill the gaps on women's health, because it is not only under attack at the state level, there is a severe proportion of our population in Texas that is underinsured.
Yeah, that was just a portion of the conversation about the city's Reproductive Justice Fund, as the city calls it. You can watch our full interview with the mayor on KSAT Plus and our KSAT YouTube page.
A Northeast ISD student is facing disciplinary action tonight after bringing a BB gun to school. This happened at MacArthur High School. Nobody was hurt, and the student didn't make any threats either. In a letter to parents, the principal said that another student told school staff about the BB gun. NEISD police responded and then took the weapon. Now, stories just like that are a reminder that if you see something, say something, because in doing that, you could save lives.
A dog whose owner allowed him to attack and bite a man in the neck last month has been euthanized. Animal Care Services confirmed that dog humanely put down on Monday. This is just one of several dog attacks KSAT has covered in recent months. SAPD says Marcus Davila, quote, intentionally allowed his large dog to attack the victim, end quote, back on September 21st. That victim suffered serious injuries that required multiple surgeries. Davila facing charges in the attack and is out on bond awaiting indictment. We showed you just how big a problem vacant structure fires are becoming throughout our city. The city fire department responding to more and more of them every year.
But just how many vacant structures are there in our city, and also where are they? KSAT investigators brought those questions to the Development Services Department. As
Lee Waldman shows us, there are thousands across our city.
This map shows just a small sampling, only 2,000 of the more than 11,000 vacant, overgrown, or dangerous buildings across our city.
We have a lot of cases that are related to vacant structures.
Michael Shannon is the director of Development Services. We got this data through an open records request to his department. It shows a total of 9,980 vacant or overgrown structures. An additional 1,178 have been marked as dangerous.
And vacant structures have a tendency to come out of compliance, become a structural hazard, or if they're accessible, meaning not secure, and they can become a hazard for people in and around them.
The list is not comprehensive. It only includes what's been identified so far. We broke down this data by city council districts. Districts 5 and 2 came out on top.
Here in District 2, DSD has identified 2,092 vacant structures, including homes and commercial businesses. Several of those falling on the same street, like some of these here on Clark Avenue.
District 5 is home to another 2,052 vacants. Both city council leaders know it's a problem their constituents are worried about.
We have these horrible inequities where we have the most failing streets, we have the most vacant and unoccupied structures.
When we look at the vacant structures within our district, many of them are held up within the title clearance process.
District 2 Councilman Jalen McKee Rodriguez believes the reasoning behind the vacant structures stems from property owners sitting on real estate, allowing it to fall into disarray.
That's leading to a host of our other problems, including encampments that get set up inside of homes.
Terry Castillo, District 5's councilwoman, says she's looking to Houston and a land banking process they've implemented to solve this kind of issue.
Any properties that have sitting vacant for too long, the city acquires that property essentially through the first of right refusal.
Both council members and Shannon believe it's an issue that will need more hands on deck to solve.
I think it's going to take a city, county, state collaborative.
And it's probably a combination of not only keeping it secure, which our department does, ensuring the safety around it, but encouraging some investment, maybe some land trust, those type of things.
For KSAT Investigates, I'm Lee Waldman.
Over on Capitol Hill tonight, Republican Jim Jordan did not get the votes that he needed today in order to become the next House Speaker. Now, Jordan, as you remember, got the Republican nomination last week. Today, he got 200 votes, but he needed at least 217 to clinch the gavel. So now the House is set to meet tomorrow morning to proceed towards a second ballot to elect the House Speaker.
President Joe Biden on his way to the Middle East to meet with leaders about the ongoing war between Israel and Hamas militants in Palestine. He departed just a few hours ago for Tel Aviv in what will be another show of support for the country of Israel. Biden will not travel to Jordan after Tel Aviv, though, since a summit with Arab leaders has now been canceled. The president was set to meet with leaders from Jordan, Egypt, and the president of the Palestinian Authority. The plans were scrapped following an attack on a Palestinian hospital in Gaza. At least 500 people killed in that blast. Hey, can you believe it's been 25 years since that 500-year flood? A look back at the historic flood of 1998 in San Antonio.
The altar or altar is a very important piece of the Dia de los Muertos.
And at Mi Tierra, the altars honoring the dead remain on display all year long.
As you can see, we have some very important politicians here, and some of our employees, past employees, they're on the altar as well. Just about anybody that can bring us a picture will go into the altar.
Whether it's Selena's altar or one of the many others, you'll notice some similarities.
The altar is 2 tiers, 3 tiers, or 7 tiers. There are different altars with different purposes, and what it consists of, first you have to have a religious figure. You have to have the picture or pictures of the person that you are honoring, candles, papel picado, of course, their favorite food or drink, salt, and the pan de muerto, of course, that's a big part of the altar. And it is round. If you can see this bread right here is round because we believe our soul is round. And these decorations show the bones of the skeleton. So we have the marigolds, we have the water. You know, we have an opportunity not just to preserve, but really to teach our culture to our guests. Everybody that comes here, we get to talk about the tradition. Everybody loves it. Everybody falls in love with it.
It was 25 years ago today that San Antonio saw the 500-year flood. October 17th, 1998, the rain fell, and it just kept falling.
Streets and highways turned into rivers, people, pets. They were killed in the floodwaters.
Yeah, KSAT 12 was there that day bringing you coverage as it was unfolding. Many of those reporters, including myself, out and about as the waters just continued to rise.
And here's what some of the others had to say as they remember the flood of 98, 25 years later.
That it just rained and rained and rained and rained.
You don't think it's going to flood, but it's just one of those where, like, this is weird, it hasn't stopped raining. And then all of a sudden I just hear a loud cracking sound. So I just panned over with my camera while I was rolling in. I just see a house floating away, just knocking trees over.
And I remember driving up 35, and right outside of San Marcos, there was a bull, like a full-fledged bull, on its back because it had drowned and got swept away, and it was up against the median, and it was just there. It was just a wild day.
It was just such a wild day, and I remember being out and about in New Braunfels along Common Street. There you see some vintage pictures there. Yeah. And I was there when that woman's house got swept away, and I remember going through what was left of her house and picking through, I think that's it right there, some of the remnants and what she could find. I mean, it was swept right off its foundation and taken down Common Street and smashed into one of the bridges. The irony is, 98 was a big flood, happened again in 2002. She rebuilt the same place, put it on pillars that are supposed to be flood proof, swept away in 02. And that's when they didn't let people build as close to the river as you see right there.
You feel so bad for people when they lose everything to events like that. And, you know, we have had floods since, obviously, you mentioned that of 2002, but obviously each and every time it's still devastating for the people who lose everything.
It is it's absolutely devastating, and flooding here, New Braunfels, San Marcos. I mean, it was all over the place. I was actually in Laredo, though, for part of that. I was on my anniversary in Laredo for the start of 98. They got no rain, not even a drop in Laredo.
Where it was a pretty widespread event in terms of, it was several days of heavy rainfall that was coming and going, just so heavy and frequent that it was overwhelming our drainage system. I want to drop a little fact on you from today. This morning, 47 degrees. That was the coolest temperature we've had in 211 days here in San Antonio. And another cool morning tomorrow, then a warming trend, and then a shot at rain on the way. Some much needed rain, and we're going to get into that in one moment. First, I want to prepare you for tomorrow morning, right near 50 degrees, but I think many locations will be in the upper 40s. 48 Hondo, 49 Canyon Lake, Gonzales 48. Helotes 48, Converse 50, downtown San Antonio 51, and Elmendorf 49. So we'll feel the chill in the air again tomorrow morning. Sweatshirt, light jacket at the bus stop, but short sleeves by noon, 74 degrees. Nothing but sunshine all day, making it up to 83 for the high temperature, a south wind at 10 to 15. 83 Bandera, Bernie 80 degrees for the high tomorrow, Seguin, Geronimo 84 along with Nixon and Smiley. So temperatures back a little above average for tomorrow afternoon. And then we get way above average into record-breaking territory by Friday. Mid-90s for highs on Friday. We're predicting 94. That would break the existing record by 2 degrees. And Saturday is another record challenging day at 93. So back into the 90s Friday through the weekend. And notice how we trim back temperatures just a little bit next week into the mid-80s. That's because of our next chance of rain. Let's talk about that first with moisture. The air is very dry right now. We have that lack of humidity, which helps our temperatures fall off a lot at night. One way to look at the dew point, not just the comfort level, but it's also the low end threshold of just how cool it can get at night. The temperature won't drop past it, but it can drop to it. So potentially we could get to 43. That's just not going to happen. But I want to show you our trend. Dew points will be on the rise gradually, and by Monday, you'll notice the mugginess back in the air. And with that will come a shift in our pattern that brings some hope for rain. We've got the surface high now moved off to the east, so a light southerly breeze will slowly start our warming trend. But what we're watching for our next chance of rain is this over the Pacific, just off the southwest coast of Mexico. We've got tropical storm Norma. Max sustained winds at 50 miles per hour right now, a newly developed system. It's going to be tracking north, becoming a hurricane. Category 2 near Cabo San Lucas around midday Sunday and into Sunday evening as it slows down. The key is the remnants of Norma, the upper level energy and extra moisture with it, likely to be steered right over Texas. We'll have a pattern that will just funnel the energy and moisture over Texas. The big question is exactly what part of Texas is going to have the best energy. It could be West Texas and New Mexico. It could be South and Central Texas in our neck of the woods. It's just too early to tell now. Regardless, even after that energy leaves us, our pattern should be favorable for a few more rain chances later on in the week. So you look at the rain chances, pretty bleak. Nothing but sunshine the rest of this week and into the weekend. By Tuesday, there's a 30% chance. Right now, we just have it at 30% because we don't have enough confidence in the best energy making it here. But there's hope and actually the possibility that we really raise those chances in the days ahead. So it's something to check back in on because we will be updating that forecast and bringing you the very latest.
Okay, thank you. I'm just happy that our own Mary Rominger is back.
Absolutely. Took the early flight back from L.A. Did you have fun?
It was so much fun, and it was
loud.
It was so loud. There were so many Cowboys fans at SoFi Stadium, and I really felt like I was in Arlington.
I didn't know that the Cowboys had to go to L.A. to discover their rushing game again. Apparently they found it out there.
It was about time, yes, and they also found things through the air. It was just, there were positives, negatives, but overall there were some bright points, and Dak Prescott a part of that. He had some meaningful plays and himself led the Cowboys rushing attack. More on that coming up. Plus, rivalries renewed? We'll see what Jeremy Sohan thinks about the Spurs and Rockets rivalry being revived.
Football coverage brought to you by Davis Law Firm.
The Dallas Cowboys got the answer they were looking for last night in Inglewood, California, following the worst loss of quarterback Dak Prescott's career last week against the 49ers. Prescott made plenty of big plays against the Chargers, but overall the offense remains inconsistent. Dak went 21 of 30 for 272 yards, and most of those incompletions were to Michael Gallup. Where Dak stood out was his ability to extend plays, also racking up 40 yards on the ground. Here's what his main guys think about his winning performance.
I think he did pretty good, making plays out of the pocket, moving around, using his legs, trying to make plays.
That guy can run all over the field. He can make plays with his arms and his legs. So to be able to see that tonight, was definitely huge for our team.
People are going to be critical of him regardless, and that's just, what the star is. And we were talking about it earlier. But just understanding the situation and the team that we have, we're a very resilient group, and we live to play for the next, our brothers next to us. Doing our 111 is the main thing that we can do, and for us to lock in together and, for all of us to do our 111, it ends up victorious.
All right, after the bye week that Dallas has this week, the Cowboys' next two matchups are the 3-3 Rams and the 5-1 Eagles in Philly. Now, the Houston Texans are also rolling into their bye week fresh off of a win, and rookie quarterback C.J. Stroud continues giving the franchise new life. The 22-year-old has looked like a veteran, playing poised and consistent, which has led to Houston's surprising 3-3 record. In Sunday's win against the Saints, Stroud's record-breaking streak of no interceptions came to an end, but he finished with 199 passing yards and 2 touchdowns. In a span of 2 weeks, the San Antonio Spurs and Houston Rockets will have played each other 3 times between the preseason and regular season. We saw the first of the 3 matchups go down on Monday, and despite it being a meaningless preseason game, there was no love lost between the two franchises.
I think there already is a rivalry. I think we want to win every game we play against them. We want to, beat them. So I think it definitely will be. And I know they have a bunch of players who, want to get under people's skin and, want to play hard too. So I feel like, there will be some heads that will clash sometimes. But, it is what it is. That's the game.
The Southwest Division rivals tip off tomorrow at 7 inside of Frostbank Center before the two meet for an early regular season tilt on October 27th, also in San Antonio. Hey, Becky Hammond's Las Vegas Aces are 1 win away from securing back-to-back WNBA championships, up 2-1 in their series against the New York Liberty. Hammond has made comparisons between this year's Aces team to the 2014 Spurs team that she was a part of as an assistant coach. Hammond says the two are and were unselfish and committed to winning. Starting Wednesday, the Aces will have to dig deep after losing Game 3 along with 2 of their star players.
All I've said is we just need to continue to be who we are. That's it. We continue to be who we are. This group's been, forged out of adversity. They weren't put together based on super team expectations. They sucked for a long time. So they've been through those thin years. They've earned this moment. They've earned this opportunity. And so now it's just on us to go grab it.
Game 4 of the Best of 5 WNBA final is tomorrow at 7 on ESPN. We're talking playoff baseball after the break. Stay with us. Game 2 of the ALCS saw Texas take a 2-0 lead in its best of 7 series over the Houston Astros 5-4. Texas right-hander Nathan Eovaldi pitched 6 innings and struck out 9, including 2 in a row after Houston loaded the bases with 1 out in the 5th inning. San Antonio's own Josh Young finished off that inning with a great throw from third, and he knows the Astros aren't going down without a fight in Game 3.
It's the postseason. Their backs are against the wall. They're going to come out fighting. They are a good team on the road. I think we're pretty good at home, so I think it'll be fun going back home, switching home field in our favor, just trying to go home and take care of business.
All right, the Rangers host Game 3 on Wednesday at 7:03. The pitching matchup, Max Scherzer for Texas and Christian Javier for Houston. And over on the other side in the NLCS series, the Phillies are up 2-0.
Phillies and Rangers very hot right now.
Yes, at the right time.
Yeah. Thanks, Mary.
Thank you. We'll be right back. We love that you kept us company this last half hour. Have a great night.
See you tomorrow.